We are right in between two eclipses right now, which is a very fated time when we don't really have control over the things that are happening in our lives. Not that we are usually in control, but right now it's just the extra divine intervention, the transformational time that is here as an opportunity for you to quantum leap, to let go of everything that is no longer serving you, and to jump forward to the highest version of yourself. And because of this special time, I got called to speak about something that transformed my life in such a profound way. Something that really helped me become who I am today. I wouldn't be where I am and who I am today without meeting this beautiful plant. So today's episode will be about ayahuasca. Hi, my dear listener. Welcome back. How are you doing? Check in with yourself. It can be a rough time right now. And the best advice that I can give you is just surrender. Just release control and surrender. Let it navigate you exactly where you need to go. If anything is trying to leave your life right now, let it. Because it's clearing up the space for your upgrades. Also, it's a great time to let go of a bad habit that you've been trying to get rid of for a very long time. And just know that the energy of the eclipse season is here to help you stick with your decision. Whatever you let go of during the eclipse season is gone for good. Take that opportunity and use this time to your advantage. Before I dive deep into the topic of ayahuasca, which I'm so passionate about, I find myself talking about ayahuasca anywhere I go, from friend groups to dates. Like, you can't even imagine how many times a conversation turned to ayahuasca topic on the first date. Well, what can I do? I have a lot of respect and gratitude for the sacred plant that helped so many people, including myself, and I will not stop talking about it. Often before the ayahuasca ceremony begins, you are being offered to do a rapé, which is a blend of sacred tobacco with different herbs and ash. And this medicine serves as a great preparation for you to connect with your body, mind, and spirit, feel more grounded, and prepare for a deeper inner work. I do have some rapé with me here today. I was self-serving this medicine for almost a year and a half every single day before my meditation. And at some point, I felt like I learned what I needed to learn from sitting with rapé. And it was time for me to pause, because this is tobacco. This can be addictive, just like smoking. So you really have to be careful and respectful with any plant medicine that you choose to work with. But for the purpose of today's episode, I would like to connect with Rapé once again, and I'm gonna do it right in front of you. This is a self-applicator. You put some Rapé inside, put the longer stick into your nose, and the shorter one goes into your mouth, so you can blow it into your nostril. I'm gonna do very little, very gentle. Slightly stronger than I wanted, but that's okay. Perfect. I'm ready. First of all, what is ayahuasca? Ayahuasca is a sacred plant medicine that comes from South America. It's a great way to work with your subconscious mind, remove the energy blocks from your body, receive the insights for your best life. I feel like one retreat of ayahuasca is like 10 years of traditional therapy. It is that powerful. What I love about ayahuasca the most is that it communicates with you in the way that you will understand. This plant is so intelligent that it finds the way to deliver the message to individual based on the way he or she learns the best. This is something that blows my mind every single time, because every single person has a completely different experience, because we all perceive information in different ways. We all have different communication styles. Some people perceive things visually. Some people feel things in their body. Some people are more analytical and it works with their mind and thoughts. But in the end of the day, it gets the job done. It makes sure that message is delivered in such a clear way that there is no room for misinterpretation. I find this exceptionally inspiring. First time I've heard the term ayahuasca was in 2014 from my first spiritual teacher, but I was not ready for something like that. Even though I might seem like a person who has done a lot of experiments on myself throughout my life, I always put a lot of thought and research into something before I would commit to it. And I only did my first ayahuasca ceremony 3 years later. That's how much time I needed to feel confident about it and feel like this is really my decision because the medicine is calling me. And I'm not doing this because someone else that I know is doing this. And I know nowadays ayahuasca has become so trendy and there are so many fake shamans that are serving ayahuasca right and left. And that's why you really need to be careful choosing the right teacher to embark on something so transformational and meaningful, because you want to make sure that the people that are serving you the medicine know what they're doing, treating the medicine with respect and have pure intentions to help you heal yourself and not to take advantage of you. So please, if you're considering sitting with ayahuasca, please find a trustworthy source. Ideally, through the word of mouth, through someone who already did a ceremony with those people, and through someone whose opinion you can trust. The nature of this medicine is so sacred, and the process that it opens up for you is extremely deep. So if the retreat center that you found on internet is using celebrities to drive their marketing, that's probably not the right place to go to. Just saying. If you're interested in exploring this beautiful medicine, feel free to reach out to me and I'll share trustworthy contacts with you. Because up to this day, I've done 16 ayahuasca ceremonies. Preparation is a big part of the whole process, because before you commit to ayahuasca retreat, there is a list of questions that a good organization will ask you to determine whether you're a good candidate for an experience like that or not, because there are certain health conditions that would prevent you from undergoing such an extreme experience. Also, if you are on any sort of medications like antidepressants, you will need to be off those medications for an extended period of time before you can do ayahuasca safely. So please, each case is unique and you really need to consider all the factors before committing to something like that. And once you commit to a retreat, there is a preparation period which includes the diet. And the recommended diet is usually around 10 days or like a week to stay off any processed foods, red meat, alcohol, any substances, just to cleanse your body, to cleanse your mind, and prepare yourself for a deeper and more meaningful experience. Because if you don't take the time to cleanse your body, that's what the medicine will do with you. You will spend the first night just cleansing yourself out of all those toxins that don't allow you to even hear your inner voice. So the better you prepare, the more profound experience you're going to have. Keep that in mind. As I was preparing for my first ayahuasca retreat in August 2017, I got into a car accident 3 days before the retreat. A police officer off duty in his personal car, rear-ended me on the highway in Boston. And thank you, universe, it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but I still got a whiplash, which is what happens to your neck when your head goes forward and then rapidly moves back. I was really concerned with going to an ayahuasca retreat after basically getting in a car accident. So I called my teacher and I told her what happened. She consulted with the shamans and they said, please come, you'll be fine and you will actually feel much better afterwards. I trusted the process and I went there. The ceremonies usually happen overnight. The people that I did my first ayahuasca with, they are a couple. He is Colombian, she is German, who was raised in South Africa, and they make a very nice masculine feminine balance. And I would say that she is quite masculine and he is quite feminine. Their ceremony has different elements throughout the night and they're very strict with their schedule. For example, it starts from people coming one by one to the altar to drink a cup of ayahuasca. And then everyone sits in silence and in the darkness for about an hour. That time is given to you to connect with the medicine, feel it in your body, start getting to know it. And after 1 hour, they start singing medicine songs, but very gently. And then they have a water prayer that they do for about another hour. And only after that, which is 3 hours into ceremony, they serve you first sip of water. They're intentionally not allowing you to drink water from the moment you drink the medicine, because when you drink water, it enhances the effect of the medicine. So they want you to learn to sit with it gently before it really starts hitting you with all its strength. And after the water prayer, there is some more music and you can stand up and walk a little bit. You can go outside, sit by the fire, and then come back to the ceremonial space. And closer to 4 in the morning, they start doing the limpia, which is the cleansing rituals, first for the women and then for the men. When women sit in a line in the center of the room, and both shamans work with each woman one by one. He is cleansing you with some herbs and his prayers from the back, and she is singing in the front and helping him cleanse your energy. And that is my favorite part of the ceremony with them, because you get the opportunity to release and cleanse everything that came up for you during the night, everything that you couldn't release by yourself. It's an extra help for you to move that energy out of your body, and it's really powerful. And then they do the same for men. So when they cleanse the women, they ask men to be present and hold space and observe. Because when men observe what's going on with women during their limpia, they start to understand their wives better, their sisters better, their daughters better. And they see what women are going through. And they see how much women are carrying within that needs to be released. It seems like it's a mirror exercise that really helps those men see a reflection of their life situations in this women's processes. This is very powerful. And then the same thing happens with men, and women are observing. Women are holding the space. And after that, the ceremony is closing and everyone goes to sleep to relax. I remember my first impression of ayahuasca when it started working. Ayahuasca has this grandmother spirit, like a wise, loving woman that is there to teach you, to help you heal yourself. And when I started connecting with it for the first time, I really felt like there were hands inside of my body that were going through different organs and different cells, scanning where in my body do I need some help, where in my body do I need some healing. And of course, because of the car accident, there was a lot of time spent with my neck and my head. Once she got to my head, I really felt like with her gentle hands, she was tuning my brain cell by cell, putting it back together, removing my headache. And I remember during the first night, everything looked so weird, and people looked weird, and the way people were moving was weird. I started asking myself those questions like, what the hell are you doing here? What is this? This is a cult? Oh my God, how the hell did you end up here? But then I brought myself back. Hey, you made a conscious choice to be here because you trust your teacher. You have so many people that you know that came with you to the ceremony. Like, breathe. That is your fear. Your ego is terrified of going within and learning things about yourself. So your mind is trying to trick you to escape from here, which is not going to happen. I did 2 ceremonies during that retreat, and I came back to my husband, and he saw how different I was and how different I felt and the things that I was telling him. He got so inspired that the next weekend he went to the retreat by himself, following my lead. And then eventually we went together and did it together. But here comes the difference. The ceremony is just the beginning of the process. The most important part happens when you go back to your daily life, because the most important part is integration of how you're going to change your life based on the insights that you received during the retreat. Don't drink ayahuasca if you're not ready to change things in your life. If you're not ready to break free from your bad habits or leave your toxic relationships and start respecting yourself, please don't do it. Understand that you cannot unlearn and unsee things that you see about yourself. You can choose to ignore that, but your soul will always know the truth, and you will feel so much pain that it's going to be unbearable, that you will need to double on your substance usage to handle your old life that you are not changing. So the result can be even worse if you're not willing to integrate. Don't go to an ayahuasca retreat because it's trendy or because everyone is doing that. This is not a social drug. This is not a party. This is a deep, deep inner work with your mind, body, and spirit that can be as effective as 10 years of therapy if done right. Or it can be your worst nightmare if that's what you choose. People that say, oh, ayahuasca is just another drug, have no idea what they're talking about. Because when you take social drugs, you're actually enjoying them in the moment, you're having fun, and then the drugs wear off and you feel like shit. And you need time to recover and rebuild yourself. But with ayahuasca, it's the opposite. It's a challenging process. It's not a pleasant process. You see all the shit about yourself that you're not willing to face, all the dark sides of your soul that you've been hiding from. But those are the parts of you that hold your power, that you can claim back through the awareness and acceptance. And in the end of it, you will always feel great. No matter what happens throughout the ceremony, in the end of it, you will feel divine. You will feel blessed, and you will feel inspired to live your best life. So you go back to your life with this open heart and you enjoy life. Life is about duality. There is no light without darkness. In order to see the stars, the sky has to be absolutely dark to see them shine brightly in their full beauty. Same with you. You need to see yourself fully with your light and darkness to understand yourself completely and to learn from it and to gain your power. Your shadow sides are holding a lot of life energy that you need. And the longer you're suppressing them, the longer that energy is not serving you. So why not become friends with your darkness? Accept it and transform it into your powerful light. Another thing that I hear a lot, especially from women that are afraid of doing ayahuasca because it makes you throw up. Well, ladies, that comes back to perfectionism and being a princess who's never going to the bathroom and will fucking die if she publicly throws up during the ceremony. Don't you want to let that shit go? I was one of you 8 years ago. I understand, and I'm telling you, it is so empowering on the other side of that. I learned to appreciate purging during the ceremony so much. We're not even calling it throwing up. We're calling it getting well, because you are releasing everything that is not supposed to be in you anymore. You are releasing it on physical, energetical, and mental level. And it's so interesting how the purge actually works, because it only happens as a resolution of a certain thing, of a certain lesson that you're going through throughout the ceremony. You shouldn't force it. You shouldn't wait for it. It's gonna happen naturally. During one of the ceremonies, I had such a challenging moment because the ceremony was technically over and I was still feeling the medicine quite a lot, and people started chatting in the room, and I just wanted to be in silence. I wanted to be with myself, and that noise around me was disturbing me so much. And I felt helpless because I couldn't even move. I couldn't ask for help. I couldn't tell those people to shut up and leave the room. And technically, the ceremony was over. I gained one of the most valuable insights about life. You cannot control the noise around you. You cannot control the world around you. You can only control how you react to this. It's your reaction that matters. It's your reaction that makes you feel a certain way. There'll always be noise around you. There'll always be people doing things that you don't like. There'll always be people saying things that you don't like. The question is not about them. The question is about you. How are you handling this? Are you able to keep your inner peace? Will you allow them to disturb your balance? Will you focus your attention on an external factor, or will you bring it within and handle yourself? It's a major lesson for any situation in life. And I had to feel it physically through that trigger. And when I realized that I can change this situation by changing my reaction, I purged and I felt peaceful and blissful. And the shaman's assistant kicked those people out of the room. So it got resolved because I changed my attitude towards it and I let it be resolved. Here are the major lessons that I learned throughout my ayahuasca journey. It really helps you remember that you're one with everything in this world, that separation is an illusion. We all are a part of one energetic substance, each person on the planet. We are all connected. Imagine a huge tree with many, many green leaves. I am one of the green leaves on that tree, and you are one of the green leaves on that tree. And every single person on the planet is a leaf on that tree. This is the best way I can explain what I felt and what I saw so many times during ayahuasca ceremonies. It really, really reminds you that you are not as separated from the rest of the world as you think you are. Trust. Trust is another thing that I learned through ayahuasca. Trusting the process, trusting the bigger power than me, understanding that it is okay to let go and not be in control of every single detail in your life. Because when you think that you know what you want and you know exactly the way you want it, you are disregarding an option that there is something even better that your logical mind cannot think of. That there is an easier path, that there is a more abundant result. But because you're so persistent with your control and the way things should be, you're not letting the divine power give you the gift. So releasing control was an essential lesson that helped me so much in my daily life. Opening your heart is another one. You absolutely can't have the life that you want with a closed heart. It doesn't work this way. The open heart is the foundation for abundance, for feeling love, for success, for health, for anything. And I truly believe that ayahuasca does it best. It helps you break your heart free from all the chains that you've wrapped around it. It teaches you about unconditional love. It gives you this feeling of a mother-like energy, showing your love because you're a child of this world and you are deserving of love. Another lesson was about the feminine masculine energy and how my entire life I've been dominantly in masculine energy, acting like a man, achieving things. But there is another way because I was born a woman and abundance is my birthright. In February 2020, a month before the pandemic started, I was in Peru, and one of the things that I wanted to do in Peru was an ayahuasca ceremony because I drank the Colombian medicine before, but I was curious to see how the Peruvian medicine is different. We flew to Cusco, and from Cusco we took a car to a small town, almost like a village, called Pisac, 1 hour away from Cusco, and that's where the ceremonial temple was located. I have no words to describe the beauty of that place. And Peru has a very special place in my heart. Honestly, from all the countries that I visited in South America, Peru is my favorite. I would love to go back again one day because its culture and people are just something else. The way they preserve the tradition and the uniqueness is so inspiring. The ceremony that I did in Peru had a lot of live musicians with different instruments, so it was really a sound bath ayahuasca experience. When I came to the shaman to drink a cup of ayahuasca, I saw that it was very different from what I was used to. It was not that dark, it was not that thick. It was very watery and even tasted like a tea because usually I hate the taste of ayahuasca. I respect this medicine and I love the things that it does for people, but I hate the taste of it. Like, I cannot stand it. Ow. But that Peruvian ayahuasca tasted completely different. And even for a moment, my logical mind started questioning if that place was really legit, or is this some sort of joke and like nothing's gonna happen? But yeah. Usually when you start thinking that, shit happens. And when they started playing the instruments and the sound just took me on that journey deep within. Throughout that ceremony, I didn't even stand up once. I went so deep within and disconnected from my body that I didn't even feel the need to go to the bathroom. I didn't purge. I was so deep within, exploring my inner world and facing my demons. That was the ceremony where I was finally not scared to face the demons that were surrounding me. And I realized that they were mine and I was the queen of that hell. I had my own throne there. And once I claimed it, they bowed to me. All of this weird stuff that was coming up for me, it was just my darkness that I was running away from. And once I acknowledged it, I realized that it's here to serve me, not to scare me. After that, I didn't drink ayahuasca for 2 years. When I'm looking back at my life, I really think that I hit my own rock bottom in fall 2021 because earlier that year I was forced to end the relationship that I thought would last. I lost my income. COVID was going full force and everything was crazy. I opened the wrong door to the party world of Los Angeles and connected with some very low vibrational people, obviously because I was vibrating on the low frequency and I did not like what I saw as a result of that. I was feeling down, I was getting depressed, and that's when my new friend told me about his teacher, and the way he described him resonated with me deeply. He said, forget about all this white clothing and beautiful ceremonies, like forget all of this shit. There will be none of that, but it will show you exactly what you need to see. It's gonna be dark. You will face yourself, but if you're not terrified, you will upgrade tremendously. And I said, fuck, sign me up. I already hit the rock bottom. I have no idea how to move forward. Let's do this. And at that time, there was a long wait list to do a retreat with that shaman. So I had to wait a couple months. As a first step, I did a psilocybin ceremony with this friend who was an apprentice to the shaman. And that was the first time I felt the energy of that shaman through my friend. And I was like, damn, this is some powerful shit right here. And I'm looking forward to actually experiencing ayahuasca with him. And things started going up after that psilocybin ceremony. I received a job offer in 10 days, started feeling better about myself. And when I did my first retreat with that shaman, this t-shirt is actually from him. It says second cup, which is the second cup of ayahuasca. Typical ayahuasca dosage is 2 cups. So you drink the first cup and then a couple hours later, he starts calling people in saying, second cup. Anyways, insights from the first retreat, I really opened my heart because I realized how much I was holding myself back, how hurt I was and not allowing myself to feel anymore. And I did a very deep, profound work on actually opening my heart once again. And then there was a lesson about the outside noise of how you can't really control what's going on outside, but you can control what's going on within you. And you can choose your reaction. When I came back from that retreat, I fell madly in love with someone who broke my heart. And now I know that it was a part of the process, because when your heart breaks, it expands. It grows because all these pieces of your heart are coming back together and there is a tissue growing. So your heart really expands. And even though it was a painful process going through the heartbreak, I wouldn't change it because it was something that I really needed to start becoming me. And 3 months later, I came back for another retreat to heal my heartbreak because I was confused and totally betrayed. And I was stuck in that loop of overanalyzing and overthinking, trying to get the answers and closure, which I never gotten. And that retreat was deep and dark. I think it was a big initiation of the current version of me because the old version of me had to die, quite literally. Some people describe ego death as this moment when you realize that you're not just your body, that you're bigger, you're the spirit, you're the energy, and it feels great. You feel blissful. What I experienced during that retreat was not that. It was literal death. The death of the old version of me. I went through terrible process, but I got my answers. I got my answers about the guy who broke my heart. I got my answers of why it happened to me the way it happened. I got my power back. It was a full reset. And if after the first retreat with a shaman, I received a major job upgrade and my career took off to the next level, after the second one, my feminine energy flourished and my personal life received enormous upgrades. I call that era of me, it's raining men, because it was raining and pouring men everywhere around me. And then I did the third retreat with that shaman a year later, right at the time when I was moving to Miami. And that's when I received a fundamental software upgrade in my consciousness on what it means to be a woman. I'll tell you a fragment of that ceremony because it was just something else. I was fighting with myself entire night, jumping between mind and heart, back and forth, masculine, feminine, fighting with each other. No peace. I had to drink 3 cups of ayahuasca that night, but because I'm so strong, fighting with myself was intense. So I had to drink more medicine. When I finally shut my mind off and let myself feel, something magical happened. I was laying with my eyes closed and I saw this marketplace like Amazon.com, like online shopping, where I could check everything that I want in life. Happy relationship, marriage, G-Wagon, house on the beach, and so on. And then I clicked upload. And the moment I clicked upload, I felt like all of this was loaded into my entire system. It's like placing an order of all of this because you're deserving this. This is your birthright. You place an order and it will arrive at the right moment. There is no need to control. There is no need to chase. When you place an order on Amazon, you know that it will be delivered sooner or later. You're not questioning that. Your order has been received. It will be delivered. Same was here. Don't you fucking worry. It's all coming. Because that's your birthright. It's not even a question. Everything that you want is coming to you in the right moment when you are ready for it and when you are able to handle that power. And releasing control and surrendering and trusting that it all works out the best way possible. If you're not gonna interfere and create obstacles for yourself, it will happen faster. Just go with the fucking flow. Know where you're going, but let the universe surprise you. And perfectionism. Oh my God, perfectionism was another lesson during that retreat. Oh my God. It was so empowering to let that shit go. My latest ayahuasca I did in July 2024. I came back to my first shamans. The ones that I did ayahuasca with back in 2017. It was nice to reconnect with them after 7 years. And as my intention for that ceremony, I said, "Dear medicine, please show me how the healthy love feels like." By that time, I understood that there is something fundamentally wrong with the concept of love in my life and in the whole history of my generational lineage, because there is no example of a healthy relationship. There is no example of healthy love. And I know that I carry that story with myself on the DNA level. And I'm so tired of it and I want to let it go. I healed a lot of feminine pain during that night. I was on my knees outside under the sky, crying my eyes out for the whole female lineage of mine, for my mom, for my grandmother, and for all the women that came before. And let me tell you, the way I see love and the way I see relationships has truly transformed over the past few years. And I think that ceremony was the final cherry on top for me to really be clear on what kind of relationship I'm looking for and what is the definition of love for me and what is acceptable and what is not. I can talk about ayahuasca for hours. I think this is going to be the longest episode so far. I'm extremely grateful for everything that this medicine has taught me. And as final words, I want to tell you, anything that you do, especially deep inner work like that, has to be approached intentionally. This is not a joke. This is not fun. This is serious shit. And even though I would love to ask every single person in the world to drink ayahuasca, because I just know that the world would become so much better if that happens, please remember that you really have to be ready. And it has to be your decision, not someone else's. No peer pressure, no trendy stuff. You only do it when you are ready. And you only do it because you are ready to meet yourself. It's so funny, last week, a few girlfriends of mine sent me the same meme. Maybe you're not everyone's cup of tea because you're not tea. You're ayahuasca. In order to be with you, they need to face themselves. But they're not ready for that. Facts. Truth. I think I'm so connected to the energy of ayahuasca because what it does to people during the ceremony, this is what I do to people in relationships. Not intentionally, it just happens. It is my presence, which I see as a blessing, because that's the opportunity to heal and fucking grow to the highest version of you. Imagine how I live with myself my entire life. That's why I'm constantly growing and transforming. Anyways, I hope you're handling the eclipse as well. Deep breathing. Remember, this too shall pass. We're gonna get through this together. Be conscious. Be intentional. Release control and know that you are being divinely guided where you need to go. Enjoy the ride. I'll see you next time.